Hello everyone. You might think this scrap is useless, but I'll turn it into something amazing that will hold your projects with a vice-like grip. I start by measuring and marking a piece of rebar. I use an angle grinder to carefully cut the metal. Leave a comment and let me know which country you are watching from. It's great that we can connect and chat from all over the world. I'm using a pen to mark where the steel bar can be bent into precise 90-degree angles without breaking it. I repeat this process to create two identical L-shaped pieces, which will form the main frame of our custom clamp. I'm measuring and marking to cut another straight line in preparation for welding the clamp frame. Next, I align the two L-shaped pieces on my workbench to form a T-shape. I'm making sure to create a strong weld along the seams, because this joint will bear a lot of tension when the clamp is in use. A solid weld is critical for a durable tool. After welding, I use a chipping hammer to remove the slag, and then a wire brush to clean the joint. I'm cleaning the weld to remove any impurities and ensure a smooth, professional finish. It also helps me check the integrity of the weld to make sure there are no weak spots. Now, I take a thicker metal rod and measure it. I cut two small, identical sections of metal pipe using my angle grinder. I position these pipe sections at the end of the T-frame and weld them securely into place. I'm attaching these pipes because they will act as smooth guides to the threaded rods, ensuring the clamp opens and closes evenly and without binding. If you find this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any interesting ideas coming soon. Moving on, I take a piece of square metal tubing. I carefully measure and mark the center. Then use a drill press to create a clean hole through it. The holes I drill will allow the threaded rods to pass through them seamlessly. Afterward, I cut the tubing into a small block. I'm creating these blocks because they will serve as the actual clamping jaws. Now for the assembly of the clamp mechanism. I take a long threaded rod and mark the length I need. I secure in my vise and cut it into 2 identical pieces with the angle grinder. I'm cutting these to size because these threaded rods will provide the mechanical advantage and clamping force when we turn the handles later on. I'm using an angle grinder to reshape the threaded rod I just cut. I'm grinding away the outer threads to make it easier to secure it to the clamping mechanism. I insert the threaded rod to the block I made earlier. Then, I place a metal washer on the end and carefully weld the washer to the threaded rod. I'm doing this to capture the block on the rod. It prevents the rod from pulling out while still allowing it to rotate freely to apply pressure. I have some circular pieces of metal. I will attach the pre-made clamping mechanism and weld it onto the circular pieces of metal. I secure them in a vise and use the angle grinder to create a crosshatch pattern on the top surface. I'm adding this texture to create a better grip, so it won't slip when tightening the clamp. Next, I will thread the assembly of threaded rods into the guide tubes on the frame, add a nut, and weld the nut to the guide tube. This completes the turning mechanism. For the base of the clamp, I need something heavy and stable. I will measure a thick sheet of steel and cut it to make the base. I have a piece of angled metal, and I've marked it on the base I just cut. I'm using an angle grinder to cut a deep V-notch into it. This groove allows me to securely fasten tools with rounded or angular shapes. After cutting, I'm welding the angled metal into the V-notch I just created. I'm doing this because a heavy, solid base is essential to keep the clamp stable on the workbench and prevent it from tipping over during heavy work. I position the completed clamping frame onto the heavy steel base. I carefully align it and then weld the frame securely to the base. I'll clean up the welds to make it look perfect. Let's test out our custom-built clamp. I place a piece of metal tubing onto the base and tighten down the handles. Look how perfectly it works. The homemade clamp securely holds a round metal piece. I use a power sander to clean rust off the metal easily and safely, without worrying about it slipping during work. On the other side of the homemade clamp, I'm securing a square iron bar onto a flat base. The clamp holds the metal bar with absolute rigidity, allowing me to use an angle grinder safely and precisely without any movement. The sturdy metal clamp ensures a smooth cutting process with the angle grinder. This heavy-duty clamp is a massive upgrade for the workshop. If you enjoyed this project, please give this video a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and leave a comment below telling me what you'd like to see next. Don't forget to subscribe for more fantastic DIY ideas. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.